Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Otakuology Podcast. I'm your host, Otaku Mike. With me, as always, is Jen. What's his face? Graves. And
What's my
today
face?
we are talking about a new anime that came out a couple months ago. We're on the pulse of checking out new anime. We're talking about Lazarus by legendary director and I guess creator of this show, Shinichiro Watanabe.
What other things has he made?
Well, he made Cowboy Bebop, Kids on the Slope. He made
Have I seen
Space
Kids on the Slope?
Dandy. Yeah, he made Space Dandy. He made Samurai Champloo. So he's been around. What?
It's like, oh man, some of those don't exactly have like a congruent like idea to them. So.
True, but I feel like this one does. He also came up with like Carol and Tuesday, Terror in Residence, which I haven't seen Terror in Residence, so I don't know how well that one is.
I haven't seen that, or I think Kids on the Slope.
Yeah, I haven't seen Kids on the Slope either. I think all I've seen was
I've read the manga for Space Dandy.
I've seen Macross Plus. I haven't seen
that.
I've seen Cowboy Bebop, obviously, and Samurai Champloo. So,
yeah, I've seen those ones.
But for somebody who's pretty synonymous with creating anime, he hasn't created a lot of anime or directed a lot of anime, it seems, over the years.
Yeah. You think he does it and he makes enough to kind of move on?
Probably, because it said he did like some storyboarding for some and directing an episode here and there in specific animes and whatnot. So, I mean, maybe he's just very picky and choosy about like what he attaches his name to, in a sense. Yeah. Especially, I feel like with ones he's directed.
Yeah.
Because he seemed to like jump in and do like a guest spot on several other animes. Like, let's see, where was it? He did, like, he's done like Escaflowne, Ergo Proxy, Birdie the Mighty, Michiko and Hachin, Lupin the Third, Death Parade. I don't know what Sunny Boy is, but he did Sunny Boy. And he was like the creative director on like Blade Runner, Black Lotus, which I've never watched that. And then he had some films that he's done too. The only one I know about is he did one of the Animatrix, and he did the Cowboy Bebop movie. But but we're checking out this new anime he did with Studio Mappa, which I really didn't know who Studio Mappa was. But I guess they worked on like Attack on Titan and stuff. It was like Studio Mappa and his other studio.
Oh, okay.
I think Mappa did most of the stuff, but they did like some Hajime no Ippo stuff, Punchline, Ushio and Tora, Rage of Bahamut, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Very, very, I don't know. Stuff I never really watched. But
yeah,
I picked this anime, and we're only covering the first episode. Man, I had so many hopes for this, like being almost like a spiritual successor to Cowboy Bebop, and I feel like this is a spiritual successor to Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, good. I thought you were going to tell me, like, this was a shitty anime or whatever. I was like, no. You're the one that recommended it.
I mean, we all recommend shitty anime for some time. I mean, what was that one I wanted us to watch where, like, the girl became, like, a jungle princess or something? I forget what it was called. I remember what it was called. With the weird...
We watched all of it?
We watched all of it. Remember, it was like 2 episodes or 3 episodes.
Hey man, that one was fine. Okay. It was stupid, but it had the
or
fan service we needed.
what was it? Fuck.
TP Bond?
TP Bond, yeah, TP Bond. But I mean, we all can't pick them. Pick winners. But
This is
yeah,
true.
like going into this, like I don't want to say the aesthetic, but like I felt big Cowboy Bebop vibes for this, like huge in a sense. Like
Really?
when the main character was about to speak, I really thought Steve Bloom was going to come out of that character's voice.
Yeah.
To be honest, but you want to start us off and introduce us to this episode?
Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find the name of the one that I thought it was kind of like.
What
Let me
was
see.
it?
Super Crooks.
Oh yeah.
It kind of like some of like the things like felt that way
Uh-huh.
because I mean we're dealing with basically like somebody that gets out of stuff
Yeah.
and whatnot,
And he
and
was in
then
prison.
he was in prison,
Yeah.
and then just kind of like it's not really like superpowers or anything else, but I mean he was like very very agile, and I would say some of like the getaway scenes or like the fight scenes
Uh-huh.
I think were really really cool in this.
He he had some like most like endurance, I felt like any anime character. Like he just kept going and going. Which his name is Axel. Axel Gilberti is what his name is in this. But let's start this out and talk about it. Like, what is like kind of like the overall premise at the beginning of this? You would say,
Um,
how do we start
there's
this
a
anime off?
there's a dreidel spinning.
That's spinning.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started this, I was like, "Am I watching the right anime here?"
No, I know. I thought the same
I
thing.
mean, it catches you off guard so bad. You're like, it's kind of like you bought tickets to like a superhero movie and you accidentally walked into like Bridget Dungeon's Diary or something like that, and you're like, "How the fuck did I get in a rom com?"
That's an interesting comparison.
Hey, buddy, rom coms and superheroes, I guess. I
I
don't
know.
know. But I mean, that's kind of what it seemed like doing this, because it was
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, okay, well, you've heard that, you kind of like read the description, all this other stuff, and then it starts out just with this dreidel spinning, and it's like, what am I supposed to?
I
Am
didn't
I
even read the description. I just started
am I
playing it.
am I supposed to do anything? Like, wait, because I've only ever seen a dreidel thing in like a Hanukkah movie.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of another reason why it threw me off. But um, we basically had this scientist guy, which I can't remember his name.
His name was. Let me see. His name was. I want to say his name was like Schwartz Skinner. Doctor Skinner
Yeah,
is his name.
all people with the name of Skinner. Sorry to everybody.
Skinner.
Sorry, everybody that has the last name Skinner, but they always seem like they're those people that are nice to you at first, and then they end up like becoming like these crazy motherfuckers.
I mean, he kind of does that in this anime.
Um,
Yeah,
well, I mean, I can only think about everything like Principal Skinner and
but at least
the
Principal Skinner is
Simpsons.
like somewhat of a
I,
nice person.
I mean, maybe later on
Like deep
he's
down, he
like a
like
dick at
cares.
school, and maybe I
Yeah.
don't know,
Deep down, I feel like Skinner cares. Principal Skinner
but
cares.
but we have him where he's basically made like this uber like painkiller drug, which yes, it does seem like that's what it is.
It's
So
called
when they
Hepna, I believe it's called.
yeah, so when they first said that, I instantly was like the pharmacist Any of the other ones that talk about like hydrocodone, things like that.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, it's non-addictive. It doesn't
Or
do
what was it, like
anything. It's like
fentanyl?
the
That's what I was thinking of, like
yeah.
fentanyl.
It's the best. Like it helps people out or whatever." And then I guess from when it first came out, it's been like 3 years later,
Something like that.
and we're on the verge of like the last month of whatever's going to happen. That he
Yeah.
comes on and he basically tells everybody, "Hey, this actually has like a hidden virus in it that everybody that first started taking it 3 years ago is going to start dying."
Yeah, because he like up and vanishes.
Yeah,
If I remember correctly, he up and vanishes. He leaves. Nobody knows where he is, and he comes back to this video, and he's like, "Hey, like you said, like whoever took this, they're gonna die."
yeah.
Which does that mean? If you didn't take it, you're not gonna die, or do you think the
He,
whatever
I
it is will
think,
spread?
I think yes. If you didn't take it, you won't die. But the thing is so many people took it in confidence that I assume that they're thinking the whole world has, taken this, because in 3 years, like, you got to think about it. Like, either uh, you've taken the drug, you've gotten a blood transfusion from somebody that's taken it. Um, you could have been, it's somehow in a drink. It could have been in all these different things, and you took it trying to feel like you were going to get better, and it
Yeah,
wasn't engineered that way.
yeah, and it very much feels like this world's version of like ibuprofen or Tylenol. I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah,
And this seems like a somewhat not it's like not somewhat like technology advanced, but they do have some technology.
yeah.
Like some it's not like Cowboy Bebop where they have spaceships or anything like that.
No, I would say it's more like the Toga says from Ghost in the Shell, but like mini version. Because they have like in all the prison, like the things that were taking the food around and cleaning the
yeah.
floors and all that,
Yeah,
those were all like
it's not like
little mini
super
things.
advanced technology, but it seems like a couple of years down the road, like technology has advanced somewhat.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
say. I would say.
We don't have a cyber AI system, but we have these little drones that
Yeah.
do stuff.
And I just have to say, like, the opening of this after we get past the initial like narration and stuff,
Yeah,
like it really got me. Like when like you see the guy sitting in the car and the car is like, "Hey, what do you want to listen to?" And he's like, "I want to listen to what was it like something blah blah blah, like a
yeah,
dead man or something like that." I don't remember what he said. And he starts playing his music, and it's this real like somber music kind of thing, and
yeah.
it like
Well,
sets the tone.
the other thing that made me think about it that was kind of in the opener slash in that area was where the guy brought up and he was like, it really seemed like the Gold Roger thing, like, "Hey, I left all my treasure in
Yeah,
one
yeah.
piece," and he's like, "Well, everybody's gonna die in 30 days unless you can find me." Like this really fucked up
Yeah,
game of hide and seek.
yeah, very much because he was like, I have the cure, nobody else does. And they were like, oh, well, we could probably develop a cure, but it'll take more than 30 days for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, I want to throw my hat in the ring on this. I really think that that's fake.
The cure?
The whole thing, I think whole thing is fake.
Well, we'll have to go through it and find out.
We will. I just think that it's more of a double blind thing. Like we're told this, but it's not exactly that. Because this has also given me Eden of the East vibes,
Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
where it's, hey, this is what it is, but it's like it's a ruse to say, hey, well, we're going to do this, you find me, you do all that. I really think that he may just be lying to people, and maybe the doctor has cancer.
Speaking of anime that kind of dropped off the face of the earth, Eden
Yeah.
of the East, that was a fucking banger of an anime
Hell yeah.
that nobody like talks about.
Yeah.
I love
Oh
that
yeah.
anime.
Oh shit. I just did the I just did the Attack on Titan sign where they put their hand to their chest, and I was about to go
Uh,
Noblesco, please.
I
Um, but
wonder if that's
yeah,
streaming anywhere where we can watch it and cover it for the
oh yeah, oh
podcast.
yeah. I mean, and we'd have to watch the movie. Oh man,
Both movies, because there's two movies.
I didn't know that. I thought
Yeah,
there's
so
just one.
there's.
Maybe I have seen both of them
I think it's like.
because I've seen all of it.
I think it. One of them's called. I don't remember what the order is, but one of them's called Paradise Lost, and the other one is called. I think it's King of Eden.
I think Paradise Lost is the first one.
Yeah.
Oops, excuse me. Yeah, but I mean that's the other vibes that I'm getting from this.
We'll
I'm
have to
really
check later.
wondering.
It says it's on Amazon.
Okay, but I'm really wondering if the reason why the doctor originally left was because he found out he had cancer, and
Possibly.
he's tried to figure stuff out for like these past 2 years,
Yeah.
and he's come back and he's like, oh man, like I want to test humanity,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
I think he did that by saying, hey, this drug that you've been taking this whole time is actually going to start killing people off, and he wants somebody to come find him because he's probably somewhere where he can't really leave or he can't really move that much.
yeah. I mean, your theory, somewhat, I feel like has a leg to stand on, in a
Yeah,
sense. What I believe it like this starts off with a really interesting hook for a premise of an anime,
yeah,
and it doesn't seem like it's going to be spinning its wheels a lot. Like how most anime kind of get like, oh, we do like this over here and this over here. Like they
yeah.
have like a set goal. It seems like,
I agree with that.
which I
I
like.
also
I
I
like that.
also like how we got like our goal in the first 5 minutes
Yeah,
of what it was that we need to find this guy, we need to capture him, we need to do whatever, and we got kind of like the building of the world, like, hey, everybody's taking this drug, they're all supposed to die in 30 days, like all this, we have our time limit, we have all this different stuff.
yeah.
And I really don't feel like we got very far in this episode
No,
towards that goal, but
no.
I feel like it presented it all pretty well, and it was action packed and everything enough that it was enjoyable for us to get as far as we
Yeah.
did in this, even though I feel like we probably only took like a step
I mean,
because we
it
got,
only said what it knocked off like a day on the
yeah,
timer at the end. But
yeah,
yeah, like
we got Axel in the group.
yeah, most of this anime in its first episode is like a big chase scene.
Yeah,
And which I'm here for. I'm here for. And we started this out with like the big introduction of what's going on. We set the stage, for the story, and we end up at this prison. And this woman, her name is what was her name? Her name was Hirsch, I believe.
yeah,
And Hirsch, she goes there to meet this specific prisoner named Axel Gilberti is his name, and we don't know why he's there. He seems to be somewhat of an infamous prisoner, and she goes there to talk to him, and she's like, "Hey, look, you know, I don't know if it's at this point she says I need your help, but she goes there to talk to him about something, and
no, she
he,
does that thing like all they do in all movies. Your next answer will tell me whether
yeah,
I get you out of here or I don't.
and he was like, look, you know what I'm known for? I'm known for basically breaking out of prisons, and we get the coolest prison break possibly ever animated. Like it was so cool just to see him go about and like all the I love how they implemented like parkour into this.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it felt very Spike Spiegel esque to me, and
that
like
is very
the
true.
way he moved, the way he fought, like he implemented parkour into his fighting style, which I don't think Spike did that very much. He was very much was like he like fought and stuff.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. No, I think he was a little more flexible than Spike.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I
Um,
I got very much like fucking Spike Spiegel vibes from
yeah,
Axel, which I'm like, okay. I mean, Spike's one of my favorite characters, you know, and
Yeah,
I like him a lot. Most people do as well, so I can see why they kind of aped him a little bit, from
yeah.
this or from into this anime, and just we got to see a couple of the other characters from Lazarus who are trying to track him down. Which, man, like the scenes where he was running and like through the city and stuff were so cool. And like,
Oh man, I love the whole scene after he got out
yeah,
and he was walking past the
oh
police officer,
yes,
and the police
yes.
officer's like, "You're wearing a prison jumpsuit.
Is that
Are you supposed to be a prisoner?"
is that he's like, or is that a new fashion trend? He's like, well, you caught me. And
Yeah,
he's like, okay, man, well, be careful. There's riots going on because the world has kind of collapsed in on itself almost.
yeah, yeah.
Very COVID-esque, I feel like.
Well, and especially like when everything, because this was the day when all that stuff got announced
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
So, in that sense, I would have to hard say it reminds me of V for Vendetta.
I can see that.
Um, and what else? There's something else, like the thing from Chicago when we defunded the police for like a month or whatever, and
Yeah.
there were all the riots. Like, a lot of that stuff
Or like
seems
when they
like,
kind of tried to storm the Capitol.
yeah, yeah, like people just kind of like show up out of the woodwork, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh my god, it's the end of the world. We're all gonna die or whatever. Or, I mean, you could say anything. I mean, Y2K. I mean, any of that stuff would fit how all
No, I
these
mean
people are acting.
it was very relatable, and it felt like, how people were perceiving like what was to come. Like there was the one kid, I forget what his name is, but he's a part of the team, and he
The
was like
blonde one?
sitting in class,
Yeah.
and he gets the news, and he's like, "Hey, yeah, I'm just gonna leave. Okay, like I'm done wasting my time in school.
Yeah, like, we're probably not going to have any more time here. Like,
Yeah,
school's not going to, I'm just going to leave.
I'm just gonna leave."
I was like, look at the balls on you.
Yeah, and everybody was like, What the fuck's going
Yeah.
on?"
And I thought maybe he was the chick with the bike. Maybe he was like her kid brother or something.
Yeah, I was kind of. I mean, they kind of look alike a little bit, so I'm wondering if maybe they
Yeah.
related, possibly.
Yeah. And then we got farther into it where it was like, well, I'm actually part of the team. And you're like, what?
What?
So,
Yeah, yeah, and I love seeing them like trying to calculate where Axel is gonna go
yeah.
and try to like force him into like a different area and whatnot. I thought that was really cool. One
Yeah.
part that really tripped me up, which kind of gave me a little vertigo, was when he was on the cranes, like running along the cranes and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he's really high up. I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Well, in the scene where he jumped off the building, the one at the end where they like tried to corner him on the building,
Yeah.
that really gave me like big Spike vibes, because he said something like Spike would. He goes, you always have to take your fate into your own hands, or something like that.
Yeah.
And he jumps off, and you're like, what's he gonna do? Grab a hold of one of these birds and like, see if it can help him out? And he grabbed a hold of
The drone.
the drone.
Yeah.
And I mean, it had to have been a pretty strong drone, even though, because he didn't fall very fast. But
No, he didn't.
I mean, that was just like crazy seeing that. Of
Yeah.
course, in perfect loop on the third fashion, though, he let a woman, kind of trick him into
Oh yeah.
taking pictures of
Yeah.
got
Oh no,
himself
that
shot.
part was funny. So like when they were trying to triangulate where he was going to be, I believe her name is Claire. I think it is. I think her name was Claire. She like starts shooting at him, but he never sees her. So like it's interesting how like she got the jump on him. She's like, "Oh man, what's up, cool Daredevil? Can we get a selfie?" And he's like, I guess. And like she like electrocutes him with her bracelet.
Yeah, her watch.
Yeah, which I was like, oh, that's a slick move. Like I liked it. I thought that was fun.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
fun little like fake out. I feel like one thing I really liked was when she was shooting, and it was a slight little detail
yeah.
when she was shooting, like the number on her gun counted down to how many shots she had in the gun. I thought that
I
was
don't
kind of
think I
cool.
saw that.
Yeah, if you go back, she has like a digital thing on hers, and I think the guy who had like the revolver who had had Axel cornered, he had something. He had a different gun, so he had like a different counter on his, which we
Yeah,
didn't get to see his, but like hers would count down with each shot, and they would animate it in like
yeah,
7, 6, 5, 4, and I thought that was a really cool little touch. Like I thought the animation on this was really well done.
yeah, yeah.
Like
Well, and that's funny that you said that because, like, I didn't see that, but I was already thinking the guns kind of remind me of the guns in Cyberpunk,
a little bit, yeah,
and them having the gun that actually the AI gun in
yeah,
Cyberpunk. It- so he's got a little screen that pops up and everything too.
yeah.
Um, well, and talking about that, one of the weirdest things was the gun that he got from the prison guard was
Oh
like
yeah.
one of the old like German
Yeah,
handguns.
it looked like a Luger or something like that.
Yeah. So I mean it was kind of weird like seeing that and then knowing like what these guns looked like.
Yeah.
And I mean clearly that whole thing has got to be different. Now it's really weird that all their tech's really high,
Hmm.
but they're they're building that they're at almost kind of to me seems like uh Devil May Cry, Dante's little
Oh
place
yeah,
where he gets the pizza at.
or like almost like the video store that Peacemaker. They have that hideout in Peacemaker with the video store.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because they're at
I
a
mean, this
barber
one's a
shop
little
at the
bigger.
end.
Yeah, it's a little bigger than that, but that's the feels it was giving me. I was like,
Yeah.
why is this so tiny? And you guys have like these super advanced, and like even like at the beginning when we see the guy, which I think the guy in the car is probably my favorite character right now.
Oh yeah, I forgot what his name was.
We see him sit in the car. We don't really see anything else until um what's her face, the main lady, calls to say, hey, he got out, come around the building, pick me up. And then we get this really nice view of this car, and you can tell like the car is already advanced just
Hmm.
by its shape, what it looks like, everything else.
Okay,
So
so you want to know what his name is?
is it forgettable?
It's Douglas, or like he goes by Doug.
Oh my gosh.
Doug Hayden, I think is his name.
Well, it you may have to quote me on that all the time because I'll probably start calling him Dudley like the boxer guy off of Street Fighter.
They look nothing alike.
I mean, they share a name almost.
His name's Doug.
Doug.
Doug, 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 Doug. So yeah, his name is Doug. The woman with the blonde hair, her name is Alexandra slash Christina, or she goes by Chris.
Was it
And then
the younger one that had the bike?
yeah, she had the motorcycle.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
she had the motorcycle, and then there's uh Leland, who is the boy, and then
okay,
there's Elena is the girl who was like the hacker, which we didn't see much of her in this. I felt like,
okay, okay.
yeah, but yeah, no,
I
like in like, go ahead.
I didn't even know she was really a hacker.
Well, I mean, I picked up on it. She seemed like a techie hacker person to me. Is what she
I
seemed
thought
like.
she was. I thought she was somebody that was controlling
I think she
like
was
whatever it
monitored.
was.
I think she was monitoring everybody.
Yeah, I kept thinking like she was going to be like the person that controlled like one of the vehicles or something like that, or
Yeah, I
you know,
think she was kind of like the woman in the chair, man in the chair type of thing.
yeah,
But one thing I have to say I like about this, one, the music was phenomenal. I think it was maybe done by the Seatbelts, who did the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack. Um,
We'll have to look it up.
but I loved their like limited use of CGI, and it really
Yeah,
only seemed to be used for like vehicles and like tech stuff.
yeah,
And I felt like it blended together very, very well in this. You
yeah.
know, it was very like sparsely used. I
Yeah.
felt like, but we get to the end of this and we find out that Axel has been asleep for I think like a day or something like that, and they're at the barber shop where I guess they're hiding out for right now. And he gets asked to join Lazarus, which is a group who is going after Dr. Skinner. And that's kind of where we end this episode. We don't really get much about the Lazarus group other than they're trying to save humanity, basically. And
Yeah.
we
Yep.
don't really get much about Axel. You know,
Yep.
we're we're definitely left in the dark. I felt like, but
I agree.
I kind of like it. Like I'm here for it. Like I'm hooked. I am hooked. Like into this anime.
I feel like that's kind of what it was built to be like.
Yeah.
Like I said, like we got told like all that stuff, but it wasn't really like big out there. Like we would see clips of it and things where
Yeah.
the doctor guy's talking or whatever, but it really wasn't like it fit into the situation.
Yeah.
Because like everything that we were like going through wasn't revolved around the doctor saying that. Like we heard the things like, oh well, there's riots and oh there's this going on and oh there's that, but
Yeah.
like really like none of that really affected Axel at all.
No. No.
So it really didn't seem like it was that important for this episode at all, except for starting it out.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would love to learn more about these characters and like what their motivation is and why they're doing it. I want to know everything about Axel because we know nothing about him
Yeah,
other than like he's a good fighter. He can run a lot, and he parkours. You
that's
know,
true. That is true. I mean, and like we have and are comparing him a lot to Spike, but I think we also got to think about it in the sense of like when we usually saw them in their more so like off time.
yeah, yeah,
Spike would either be like sitting there smoking or laying on the couch or eating or something like that.
yeah,
And this guy, our first thing of seeing him is he's in there on his arms doing,
like
uh,
handstands.
yeah, handstand like push up things.
Yeah,
So, we have that, and then him kind of saying the whole thing, and it's not I'm a bounty hunter. It's my hobby is breaking out of prisons.
yeah. I'm just a humble bounty hunter, man.
So, yeah, I really wonder if any part of the character was inspired by like Bronson or the little Asian guy that broke out of a bunch of jails.
Yeah, maybe, maybe. I mean,
Um,
I wouldn't put it past them to like have inspiration, because I mean,
yeah,
Bebop was very much inspired by like different movies
yeah,
from like America and like different in cinema and stuff that like Watanabe like really really enjoyed.
yeah,
So I can see him putting those influences he has possibly on like today's movies, maybe,
yeah,
because but I fucking loved this anime, this first episode.
yeah.
Like I have no problems with it whatsoever, really. Uh, I give it a 5 out of 5, to be honest.
I I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5 too. I just hope that we're not jumping the gun on giving
Yeah,
it like a five
no,
out of five.
I don't want to say like the nostalgia goggles are on, because like it hit all the points for me. Like good music, good action, good hook on the story. The
Yeah,
characters felt likable. I liked the character designs.
yeah,
I like that we had a diverse cast of characters. You know, they seem pretty diverse.
Yeah.
And if it's anything like Cowboy Bebop, like okay, like I'm here for it. But this seems to have more of a straightforward story than Bebop did. You know, their stories were kind of standalone stories, but this one seems to
Yeah.
have more of like a straightforward purpose.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
Now, I really hope this doesn't shit the bed. Just saying.
No, I agree with that too.
Yeah, I mean, I had fun with it. It was fun. I didn't feel like it was a chore to rewatch the first episode,
Yeah.
and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. And I picked up on things here and there that I missed the first time.
Yeah.
You know, I like it that we have character names that we can say, and they're not hard to say. To be honest,
That's true. Maybe the last names are hard for us to say.
maybe, yeah. No, but at the moment, I give this a perfect score because it was fucking like perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
But yeah, I hope to continue watching this. I'm glad we both enjoyed it. You know,
yeah.
I really can't wait to watch episode 2 because I want to see if it still holds up.
Yeah.
Especially like animation wise, because this actually is airing on Adult Swim as well. Like Adult Swim, I think had a hand in this, like probably financing it or something,
Yeah.
because they're
Oh
named.
yeah. Like when I started it and it did the bung, like the Adult
Yeah,
Swim thing, I was like, what the fuck? I
yeah,
was
which
like, I know where that came from.
they were like big fans of Cowboy Bebop, and I think Cowboy Bebop might still play on Adult Swim.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But yeah,
Yeah.
I am definitely looking forward to the next episode. I'm kind of glad we finally pulled the trigger and started watching this because I really had reservations on like whether or not possibly lightning could strike twice.
How long have you thought about this anime?
When I heard about like they were making it,
Okay.
and then I started seeing some of the visuals, and I was like, God, this fucking looks like Bebop.
Let us say you only brought it up like the last time, so you're like, oh, and I was like, we've only talked about this
Well,
once.
see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like, Bebop is like for me, Bebop is like synonymous in the anime fandom,
Yeah.
and like it's like for me, it is peak animation when it comes to anime on TV.
Yeah.
Like it is peak, and it is still holds the test of time. And
Yeah.
people have always wanted a sequel of some sorts to Cowboy Bebop, and people have tried to replicate it. I don't feel like they've come close to that, but like I feel like get the guy who made it to like possibly take elements of it and put it into something else.
And how can he make it better?
And like, how can you possibly make it better? Because I mean, like,
Yeah.
you look at the fight scenes and the action and Bebop, and like, even though like I really really loved it, like the camera work and stuff in this episode was like phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah.
With like all the different parkour and like how he was fighting and stuff, like it was really good. Like, and I hope it continues to be strong. I
Yeah.
hope more people like know about this anime. I mean, I know it's fairly new, but and I think there's like 7 episodes out or something like that at the moment. But like, I hope it becomes like a classic.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't know if I know people really like Kids on the Slope. So like, I don't know if any other anime has hit hard other than probably Samurai Champloo. For Watanabe. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Cowboy Bebop, but like my only reservation about it is the fact that there's not really a storyline to it. Like we've tried to make a storyline, I think, from growing up and going, oh yeah, but really none of the
Well,
episodes I feel like are congruent enough to do that.
only a couple of them have like overarching story. Then you slowly get things about each character and stuff, and you have the stuff with like the mob and stuff in it. But yeah, a lot of it is like you have to pick things up here and there throughout the stories to
Yeah.
figure out, and it's mostly about them bounty hunting, is what
Yeah.
it's mostly about.
Yeah.
So we
See,
get like
and
mini
then
movies.
that was kind of like what it was. Even though it had more, Samurai Champloo always kind of took me out of
Yeah,
it that way, especially when it did the little jumps like to modern day,
I
and
was
then
like,
it would reverse back. Yeah, and it would jump towards modern day, like people like rapping on the streets or something, and then it would go back.
isn't that only
To
like the first episode?
they kind of do it on and off throughout a bunch of
Do
it
that?
in
It's been a
places.
long time since I've watched Champloo.
Um, you know, so it's almost kind of the same way. So that's one thing that I'm hoping, and we'll know second episode if we actually have more of a storyline
Yeah,
esque thing going through it instead of
yeah. No, it's something
not.
I'm definitely looking forward to checking out. I watched no reviews on this. I fucking went into this cold turkey.
Yeah.
Like the only thing I saw was whose name was attached to it and like what the characters kind of looked like a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Like I jumped into this cold turkey. I had no idea what was going on, but I'm glad
Yeah.
we got to cover it. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
but we'll catch you guys on the next episode. Thanks for listening. You can reach out to us on our social medias, Otakuology, on Instagram, Blue Sky, X. We're on all major podcast platforms. Reach out to us there, rate and review the podcast. It helps the podcast grow. Please share the podcast with your friends if you think they might like it. And when will they see us next time?
You guys will see us next Tuesday.